Thank you, everyone.
So actually, Keshav has got a job as a manual tester few days back. So that is why we are congratulating him. So Keshav, not today, but please share your experience, like how actually Keshav has, if I'm not wrong, Keshav, like is whatever the application, the e-commerce application I have explained, he has projected the same in his CV. Like he has worked on that application, and based on that, he has given his interview. Is it right, Keshav?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so not today, Keshav, but I will give you some time. Please share your experience to all of us, like how you have
Yes.
managed this and which kind of questions you experience in the interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start the class. Today, as I said, I'm going to cover how we create defects when we do the execution. If everything is fine, then what we do, we simply pass the test case, and if not pass, then what will happen? So in the last class, we have seen we have passed the test case, and I guess Ram hasn't joined. Prasanna has joined. So Prasanna, I think this is your first class. This is the last class of first project. From next week, Saturday, we will start the second project, and that we will cover on the basis of Agile. Okay, but this class will also help you, like how you can create a bug, how you can raise a defect. Same thing we will do in the second project, but in a different way, in an Agile methodology. Okay, so when we get a defect, when the test case is created, when the developer has given the deployment, the build in the testing environment, then our test lead will ask, start doing the test execution. We will be like the test list with lead will divide the test cases or the area which a particular test team member will execute. It is not like you will execute everything. If there are 4 to 5 test members, so the task will be divided among all of them. So in that way, we work in a project, and based on your testing, based on your test execution, either you will find the requirement is completely matching, or you will find it is not matching. So if it is matching, then you will pass the test case. If it is not matching, then you will raise a defect. Okay. So today I am going to raise 2 defects in front of you so that you can get an idea how we create defect. This is a search product section. In this search product, this is the first test case that I have written. This one I am going to execute. This one is not executed. The actual result is not updated. The status is also not updated. So this test case I am going to execute. What it is saying, open the application. So I have opened the application, and it is asking me to open the Chrome browser. Then it is asking me to check the message. Search entire store here in the search box. Now see this message clearly. This is the message, right? Search entire store here. This message should display in the application. Let's do the same. This is the application which I have already logged in. Now this is a search box. Here I will verify the message. So now can you tell me search entire store here? Is the same message is displaying in the application also that is mentioned in the requirement? This is the requirement. Uh, this is the requirement. This message to display search entire store. Search entire store here. Don't get one thing I need to update. I am currently in my hometown. You can experience such noises because there is a Puja festival going on. Okay, so please ignore for today. Now, can you tell me this message I want to experience here? This should display in the application. So, can you also see the same message here, or you are, or is there any difference? You are observing here. Anyone? Do you find at least yes, no? You can say if you think it is matching, then say yes. If you think it is not matching, then say you know. Do you think same message we are getting here? Anjum is saying no. Why? Why? Anyone else? Are you all there in the call? Can you hear me? Keshav, Prasunna, okay, Ram also has joined. So, can you tell me, is there any difference? Can you spot any difference? This message this I should experience. This message should display in the search box. Anjum has said no. Can you tell me why no?
Sir, I can see same, but it is not in the text box. It is when you write something, it will disappear. Na? That way I'm saying.
No, no. I just need to validate whether this message is displaying in the search box or not. That's it.
So it is, yes, it is same.
It is same. Okay. Rest. Ram has joined just now. So Ram, the question was, I will just
Yeah,
open this application and based on my test case, I will check whether this search entire store here message is displaying in this application here. Here it is displaying or not. So can you also see the same message is displaying here, or you are observing anything something different here?
yeah. It is the placeholders in the text, Sunny. We have to
Sorry,
check that it is the placeholder in the text box.
placeholder.
So yeah,
This
we
one you
have
are
to check. Sorry, you asking about the text search entire store here? That message only?
yes, yes.
Yes, Sunny. We have to check that thing also.
No, the question is once I will log into this application, then there will be a search box. In this search box, can you see this message? So Kesar has got what I'm asking. There is three dot,
Yeah.
which I haven't mentioned in the test case. This is my requirement.
Yes, sir.
But
Okay.
in the application, there is three dot. I'm not saying this is wrong, but this is a demo application. So based on that, we have to consider the scenario, right? This is not a real time project where deployment will happen, we will observe a defect, but we have to understand how we will find defect. So intentionally, I have done this so that you can observe a defect. So let's suppose for this application, once I will log in based on my test case, I will only see this message. Apart from that, there should not be anything else. But here you see there is a three dot, which is not expected. In your expectation, it is not expected, the three dot. So it means it is a defect. Three extra dot is coming. That should not come. So now you will put down in your actual result, your observation. Now what you will update? The below message is not displaying as per the requirement. Three extra dot, which also displaying in the along with the message, right? So this is how we spot defect.
So, sir,
Process.
even this much minor also is not allowed.
No,
Even
this
if
is
the color was different, that is also not allowed.
that is also not allowed.
Okay, okay.
This kind of defect known as cosmetic defect, where there is a change in the UI, color is not matching, message is not matching, something is different, design is not matching. This is a small defect. It is not blocking you. It is not blocking you to search any item, but it is also a defect. And this kind of defect, which is related to UI means user interface, is known as cosmetic defect. Now this one has failed, so you mark it as red, and in the status you will, sorry, not here. This status you will make it as red. Okay. This test case you have executed and it has failed, so you will mark it as failed. Now you will raise a defect. So in order to raise a defect, there is a standard template. Okay. This is a standard template. Let's rename this with Ruma effects. Right? Now here you will start raising your defect. First of all, you have to give a bug ID or defect ID. Let's suppose this is your defect ID. Now in the description, you will mention a very high level defect. Like this defect is coming. What is the defect actually? So on a very high level, you will write the description or the summary of the defect. So how you will write that? What is the defect? That extra three dot is coming, or what is actually happening? The message is not displaying. The search box message is not displaying, right? So now here you will write in the defect description, search box message is not displaying as per the requirement, right? So what is the defect actually that you have to write? What was my expectation? This message should display, but that message is not displaying as per the requirement. So on a very high level, you will mention the description of the requirement. Sorry, the summary. Now you will write steps to reproduce. What is the steps to reproduce? Once you will raise this defect and once you will assign this defect to the developer, now developer will go through these steps to reproduce one by one the steps that you have mentioned in order to replicate the defect. You have found the defect, but let's suppose you want me also to get this defect, to know like, yes, here is the defect is available. So what you will do, you will write in steps to reproduce. I will follow these steps and then I will get to know, okay, here is the defect. Because developer doesn't know where is the defect currently. You as a tester know, but you want developer also know this. It is not like you will go to the developer seat or developer will come to your seat and ask you, show me where is the defect. This is not how we work in a project. That is called verbal communication. But in project, everything we do as a written. Let's suppose we have found a defect, you call the developer has seen this. And he told like I will fix it. Then he go back to his desk and he didn't fix the defect. Tomorrow your lead is asking, what happened to the defect? You said developer is working. Now when developer you went to the developer and asked, developer is saying, I don't know where is the defect. Have you raised it? Is there any document or have you assigned the defect to me? He will say, no, I have just called you and showed means I have just showed you like this is the place in the application where defect is coming. So he will say, I don't know. Then what he will do? That is why in a project in IT industry, everything is written either via email or via document, or there will be something where everything will be tracked. That is why we raise a defect. Later on also, if your project manager wants to know when you have tested this application, then how many defects you have found. So that he can calculate from this document only. That is why everything we should document. Now we will write steps to reproduce. Steps to reproduce we will write in a very detailed way, so that anyone can follow and get the defect. First of all, you will write login to the application. Now, no need to mention which application because developer also know you are talking about which application. Okay. Next, once you have logged in, verify the text message. Now, what is the text message that you have to write? So, what is the text message? Verify the text message appear in the search box. Then, now there is an expected result. What should be the expectation? Okay. This is your expectation. It should display in this way. And what is your actual result? Right? So both are not matching. So this is how we can get the defect. First of all, you have to write the crystal clear steps to reproduce so that anyone can follow and he can see the defect. Not only this, you have to attach a screenshot also of the defect. Right? This is the place where you are getting the defect, and this is the
So this is all
defect.
we do when we are in company also. Means we do all this.
Yes. Whenever you are raising any defect, you have to attach a screenshot as an evidence. Like you have found this defect, so you have to attach an evidence. This is I am doing in the Excel sheet, but definitely your company must be using a test management tool. If there is a small company, if the budget is very small, then they will definitely go with the Excel sheet. If the budget is high, company is big, then they must be using a test management tool. So we should be
Which is
aware of both the things. Yes,
which will test management tool, which it will be a Jira.
Anyone. It depends on the company. It can be Jira, it can be ALM, it can be other. There are so many test management tools. It all depends on the project, which one a project a client has approved. Because client is paying the money, right? So it depends on the client which tool the client has approved.
Okay.
But the process will be same of all the tool. If you learn one tool, then you can manage all the rest of the tools. In our second project, we will see a tool. We will use a tool for writing test cases, for executing, for raising a defect, everything. I will try to find an open source tool which is freeware, freely available, and we will learn all this concept in that tool. Okay. Now after attaching this screenshot, there is two more field with severity and priority. This one also you have to update. But what is the meaning of severity and priority?
And sir, this coloring, means this color, red color and all, this also is there. We have to do, means if I'm showing I'm in a small scale company, so this all is also there.
Means this
Green
green and red color you're saying.
expected. Yes, yes.
Yeah, you can do it. It looks good, right? If you leave it as
Okay.
blank, then it means it will the person has will take some time to understand. If you highlight it with the color, so immediately anyone can
Okay.
spot, right?
Okay.
Now what is severity and what is priority? Bug severity or defect severity can you see it? The text.
Yes.
Uh, Bug severity or defect severity and testing is a degree of impact a bug or defect has on the software application under test. So basically, severity determines the impact. What is the impact of that particular defect on the application? If the impact is high, if the impact is medium, if the impact is very low, bug and defect is same. Developer call it as a bug. We as a tester call it as a defect. Okay. If the what is the impact? Once we are raising the defect, then we have to determine how it is affecting the application. A quality assurance engineer. Do not say manual tester. It doesn't sound good. The proper word is QA. Quality assurance engineer usually determines the severity level of a bug or defect. Like you will determine, or let's suppose you are a fresher, then your test lead will help you, or he will teach you how we decide severity or priority of a defect, right? So it basically determines what is the impact of the defect on the application. Now, what is priority? Priority is defined as the order in which a defect should be fixed. That means, let's suppose you have raised 5 defects. Which ones should be fixed first? Which ones should be fixed second? The order, in which order the defect should be fixed by the developer. Priority is high means it should be fixed first. Higher the priority, the sooner the defect should be resolved. Defects that leave the software application unusable. Like you have raised a defect and for that now you are not able to use the application. That has a higher priority over the other defects that you have raised. Let's suppose login functionality is not working. Once you are entering username and password and clicking on login, it is showing 403 gateway error. So will you be able to do any kind of testing? Definitely not. This is called high severity and high priority defect. Severity is very high because you are totally blocked. You are not able to do any single activity. I will tell you how you will write it. It depends on the defect. Like the example that I have given you. Login functionality is not working. If you are not able to log into an application, then you will not be able to do anything. You will not be able to test anything in the application. That is known as that this kind of defect known as high severity. It has a very high impact. And since the impact is very high, the priority should also be very high. Immediately it has to be fixed because testers are idle, they are not able to do anything. Right? Now you have understood the meaning of severity and priority. In software testing, what are the types of severity? Critical, major, medium, and low. Critical means the defect indicates complete shutdown of the process. Nothing can be proceed further. The example that I have given you. Application is crashed. You are not able to log in. That is a critical defect. Major. It has high severity defect and collapses the system. However, the certain part of the system remain functional. It means, let's suppose you have logged into the application, right? You are able to search an item. Okay. Now you want to add it to the cart. You will select size and color. Now let's imagine once you are clicking on add to cart, this product is not getting added to the cart. Just imagine. This is what you are observing. So in that means currently the add to cart section is not working. There is some defect. But apart from add to cart, you are able to search, you are able to wish list, you are able to navigate, you are able to test other section of this application. But a particular section of an application is not working. So that means it is only affecting that particular section, not the other section. That means you can still do your testing for the other application, for the other section of the application. This kind of defect is known as major. Let's suppose out of the 5 sections, 3 sections are not working. Only 2 sections are there to work on. That is a major defect. Medium, it will have less impact. It causes some undesirable behavior, but the system is still functional. Let's suppose when you're clicking the first time, then it is not adding, but once you're clicking on second time, then it is adding. That means you are able to add. Anyhow, you are able to add, you are able to test it, but the functionality is not correct. The behavior is undesirable. This is not the desirable behavior. On a single click, you will be able to add, but it is not happening due to some reason. On double click, it is happening. For that, you will definitely raise a defect, but you are able to test. You are able to proceed further. So this kind of defect, this kind of example comes under medium level. Low level, low level defect is the cosmetic defect. UI change, color is different, word is different, message is not correct. The defect that I have just raised is a low severity defect. Without that also, means if you ignore that, you can test rest of the thing. It is not blocking you. So you will simply, I have a question, are we testing ACC to tester or The JCC if it is good.
Saying, sir, are we testing everything? Means on double click it is happening. So are we testing according to a tester's perspective? Like, okay, chalo, this is the working. We can test other things, or we are testing according to the client or the user, end user who's gonna use.
No, yes. So what generally happens? Timeline will be very tight. It is not like you got a defect, so timeline will be increased. Within that timeline only, anyhow, you have developer will also has to do the fixing, and you also have to complete your testing. So it's rather than wasting your time and sitting idle because you have raised a defect, you will try to spot with can you test other test cases, because on the later day it is coming on you only. No one will come and help you. You only have to complete your entire activity and within that timeline only, because after it depends on the project. There are some releases going on. What is releases that I will explain in the second project. Then you will understand the meaning of releases. There is a deadline fixed. On this deadline, entire testing and development process should be completed. So it's better to identify the workaround. If there is any workaround, still you can do any other testing. If yes, then go ahead with that. Whatever you are observing, there is a defect, and go ahead further for the further test case testing. Don't sit idle because your work only you have to do. No one else will do. Okay, so this is the different types of severity. Now priority. Priority depends on the severity. If critical and major, priority will be high. If medium, then priority will be medium. If severity is low, then priority will also be low. Sometimes it also happens. Medium means the combination I'm saying critical major always go with the higher, because if a defect is critical and major, priority will definitely be high. If the severity is medium, it can either be low, priority can either be low or it can either be medium. It totally depends how many test cases that defect is blocking or how many sections the defect is blocking. It totally depends on the scenario. For example, you can give this kind of example that I'm explaining to you. If anyone asks you explain this with an example, so you can use this application as an example. You can give this kind of scenario to explain them. So medium, for medium defect, it can be low and it can be medium. For low, it will always be low. If the severity is low, then priority definitely will be low. The priority can't be medium. That means from high to low you can come, from low to high you cannot go. If the defect is medium, priority will either be medium or priority will either be low. But if the defect is low, the priority will always be low. So this kind of combinations we follow for raising any defect and for giving severity and priority. Now let's go back to the defect that we have raised. For this, severity is low and priority is low. Sometimes we write like this, sometimes we give a number like 1 to 4. For severity, it will be 1 to 4. So if the severity is low, so you will write here 1. If the priority is also low, so you will write it as a 1. Sometimes they follow the number, sometimes they directly write low, high. Critical means 4, major means 3, medium means 2, low means 1. So this is how we define severity in priority. Yeah. Now this defect ID you have to copy. You have to go to the application and you are here. You have to paste the ID. That means for this test case, you have found this defect. So now anyone will open this defect template. He will go to that defect ID and he will see what is the defect. right? Now, second scenario. Anyone has anything to ask? Any confusion? Keshav Ram, Lata has just joined. Prasanna. Okay, so I assume there is no doubt. Now let's move on and let's raise another defect. I am going to test this functionality. Verify a customer can search an item. One second. It's okay, fine. Let's test this one. Verify a customer can search an item which is available without signing. First of all, I have to open the application. The application is open. Okay. It is asking me to log as a login. So I will sign out. Now I will enter an item name and press the entire enter button. Now here it is mentioned as search, but it is not like I will only do this testing with only this search data. There are multiple items in this application. So I will give a search for each and every item and will check for each and every item the search result is displaying me the result. It is not like their search is mentioned, so every time I will use the search. This is a positive testing. What is the negative testing? Apart from this data, you will also try to search with different data. Right. So apart from search, I want to search a t-shirt. Right? I will see whether t-shirt is available here or not. Let's imagine in the requirement, t-shirt is also an item. That means in this application for t-shirt also we should get a result. Now let's search this. So for t-shirt it is not showing any item. But my requirement is saying there should be some result. So now it is a defect. In the requirement it is written there should be result, but it is not displaying. I will raise a defect. Now you will apply a logic. We will see. You will go each and every section and you will see if the t-shirt is actually available or if all the t-shirts are sold out. That is why it is showing no result. This kind of logic you can apply as a tester. But let's imagine once you have applied this logic, you have found there are some t-shirts available. But still this is not displaying you no result. This is a defect. In this way you have to find a defect. Right. So now for this you will raise a defect. So this is the expectation. It should display the item and also the number. Also display the number of items. What it is actually displaying? It is displaying error message. Right. This is what we have found in the expectation in the actual result. Sorry, not here. Okay. In this section, you will write it as pale and you will color it as red. Now we will create a defect. So now again we will go back to this. We will create another defect ID. And what is the defect? T-shirt item is not displaying in the application or in the search result. Now you will write the steps to reproduce. So now here what you will write, log into the application, enter t-shirt in the search box. Okay. Now what will be the expectation? Expectation you can copy from your test case. And what is the actual result? Actual result also you can copy from your test case. And now you tell me what will be the severity for this? Now you guys tell me. So Anjali saying severity is high. Anyone else? Keshav, Ram, are you there in the call? What is the severity for this defect? No one is saying anything. It is not useful. You are not finding this class useful. Then tell me whatever is the reason. Yusuf has said hi. Anjum also said hi. So what is the meaning of high? When a defect can be high? A defect can be high once it is blocking an entire section of an application. So is it blocking an entire section? You are even able to search, right? You are able to search it. It is displaying no result. It is not like search functionality is not working. You are able to enter in a text in the search box, right? Even you are able to click on the search option. The page is loaded. Right, the page is also loaded. But the reason is it is not displaying the result. No, it is
So
not
this will
as
be
per.
a higher because the main thing a client is going to do is going to purchase, and if that is not working properly, then it will be high.
No, no. You do
Even if
not
the
decide the
functionality
priority or the severity based on the client. You decide it based on the defect.
developer
No, based
defect.
on the defect, how this defect is impacting the application. Based on that, you will decide. It is not like client is accessing this application that it is available to the client every time to access. No, currently it is under development. Client cannot access it. Once this development activity will be done, once the testing activity will be done, then there are more levels of testing. Once that level of testing will also be done, then it will go to the client for verification. Then only client will see this. But before that, once I said the testing activity is done, it means whatever the defect you have found, developer has fixed the defect. Once you are giving the sign off as a tester, it means all the functionality is working. Then only you are giving as the sign off as the testing is completed. Once your test lead will give the sign off as testing activity is completed, it means all the functionality in the application is working as expected. Whatever the defect you are raising, immediately developer will fix it. So don't think in that perspective that client will is every time accessing the application and checking whatever you are doing. No. Once you have raised a defect, now analyze the defect and see how it is impacting the application. So it is now the impact is I'm able to even search it, right? I'm able to even that page is even loading, but it is not displaying the result. For different item, it is displaying the result, but for different item, it is not displaying the result. So the defect is only for a particular item. It is not blocking the entire functionality testing. It can't be high. This is for sure. It can't be low
So
even.
one,
Yes.
if in case the product which I'm searching that is being shown in the small picture, but when I'm trying to open it that time, like when I open that page, that time I cannot see the picture of the shirt which I want. So that
Hmm.
time it will be high priority. That is also not blocking any functionality. It is working, but
That
the
is a
image
medium.
is not getting.
High means it is blocking an entire functionality. This
Okay,
kind of defect comes under the medium level.
okay,
Right? You are even open the item, but instead of red, it is showing blue. So that is a medium level defect. It is
okay,
not blocking you to perform any particular functionality. You are performing the functionality, only color difference you are observing. So this kind of
For
defects is a
example, the
technical
logo
defect.
name is different, Luma is
That is
written in some other, that all is all low priority. Means
that
if
is a low
anything
priority.
is not getting blocked, means that is not high.
Yes, that is a logo, message, color. All these are low priority defects. These are known as cosmetic defects. Now here
Okay.
either priority can be medium or priority can be low, but I will keep it as a medium. Why? Because it is it should display the result for that particular item also, but it is not displayed. Right. So I will mark the priority as medium. Let's
And so
suppose
one more question.
yes,
For example, I, as a tester, I wrote this test case, and for me, I mean, I felt that this is medium priority. But when peer review, na, or whatever, someone else is checking, that time someone else felt that this is low. So that can different, matlab, it will be differentiated, na, from person to person.
once you raise a defect, even before raising a defect, first of all, it will be an observation. Let's suppose you are doing executing the test case, right? You have found this observation like this is a defect. Immediately, you are not going to raise the defect. First of all, you will reach out to your lead. You will discuss this observation. If he says yes, this is a defect, then only you will raise the defect. So first of all, you have to discuss it with the lead. Now, who will discuss? Only those person who has 2 or 3 years of experience or who is a fresher who doesn't have any experience level knowledge of testing. Now, in that case, you have to first of all go to your test lead. You have to discuss with your test lead. He will guide you. Yes, if it is a defect, then he will ask you go ahead and raise a defect. Immediately, you can discuss. Can I put it as this severity or this priority? So he will help you to decide the priority or severity. But if you have experience of DL should be an experience of 8 or 10 years. 8 or 10 years of testing experience. Sometimes it is six also, sometimes it is seven also, sometimes it is five also. So if a test lead is a 5 years of experience, that means his level of knowledge or his skill is excellent. That is why in the project has decided to give him as the lead position. And if a person is getting the lead position on the age of 7 or 8, that means now he has reached to that experience level that he can handle the position. But if you're getting the position earlier, that means you have done some extraordinary activity in your project. Your project manager is very much happy with you, and that is why he is giving you that position. Now, let's suppose you have an experience, 5 or 6 years of experience. Then you do not need to, because now you have the same level of understanding of the requirement that your lead, because once that requirement analysis will be done, then your lead will mostly discuss with those team members who are senior basically. So you will also have the same knowledge of requirement that a test lead has. So you can simply raise a defect, and you have that level of experience that you are not going to commit any mistake in deciding severity or priority, because you have tested thousands of test cases and you have raised thousands of defects. So now you have reached to that level, you can easily decide the priority and severity. But as a fresher, definitely you need a guidance, and for guidance, your senior team member and your test lead is available for that. So for me, It is a medium level defect. What is low level defect? This is coming in blue color. This is coming in green color. In this message, fulfilled F is capital. In this tweet, this bird is option is icon is not coming. Right. There is some UI change. This is coming in different color. If you're expanding this, then this is getting highlighted in let's suppose blue color, not in the orange color. These are the UI defect, UI related defect. These are known as cosmetic defect. But let's suppose this cart option is not coming. Now this is a very high level defect because the cart option is not coming. Once you add any item, you will not be able to see. Now this is a major defect because the even entire cart section is missing. Now this is a major defect. What is critical? You are not able to create an account. You are not even able to log in. You are not even able to open this application. That is critical defect. Not getting OTP is also a critical defect. Yes. Let's suppose for login you need to enter a OTP. That is a critical defect. Right? So this is how we decide defect. Now this is a medium defect and you have to put the screenshot. Now how you will take the screenshot for this? Here you have to use your sense. I will take the screenshot from here till here so that anyone can see when I do this search, it is displaying this result. Then you will copy the defect ID, you will paste it over here. Right? So this is how we raise defect. We create defect. This is the process of creating defect. First of all, there will be defect ID, then there will be a summary, then there will be steps to reproduce, then there will be expected, actual, severity, priority, and the screenshot section. These are the sections generally you will find in a defect template.
Hello, Sunny.
Yes.
In defect life cycle, there is a status is there like open assigned. It is not
Mhm.
mentioned here.
Yes, there is a status of defect also. Why here I haven't mentioned because in the Excel sheet it is not possible to every time update the status or to track it. That we can easily done with the help of a test management tool. Because this Excel sheet, like when you have to pass to the developer will change the status. Now it will come to you, you will change the status. That is a very tedious work. So when if anyone has following this Excel sheet concept, you can create as column over here, like just after assign you can create a status, you can create a column for developer name, like who is working, so that you can modify, you can improvise this document. So generally, whenever you create a defect, it has an open status. Once you assign, like once you have created the defect, you will assign the defect to the developer. Now when developer will start working on, then he will change the status from open to fixing. Now once he will fix it, so he will mark the status as fixed. Then it will come to you. Now you will change the status to retesting. Then you will start doing the testing. Let's suppose in the second testing, still the defect is there. So you will again reopen. You will change the status as reopen. You will assign that back to the developer. Developer will change the status to fixing. Then he will fix it. Then he will again pass to you. And the second time of defect testing, you have found it is fixed. So what you will do, you will close the defect. So once the defect is closed, that means the entire process is complete. So in this way, the defect status keep on changing. You can create a column for status. You can create a column for developer. But as I said, like it is very difficult to manage this in Excel sheet. I will show you this thing in a test management tool in the second project.
Okay, Sunny.
Okay. So that's all from the defect side. If it is still there anything to discuss, you can discuss. With that, our first project is completed. I will share this defect template to all of you. One thing is left, requirement traceability matrix. That is a generic template. It is not dependent on any particular application. It is just a general document, general template, which is basically used to cover the test. It is basically used for test coverage, like the test cases that you are creating. Everything is getting is tracked or not against that particular defect, against the test scenario ID. Like for now, each and everything for test scenario, you are creating a template. For test cases and test execution, you have created a template. For defect reporting, you have created a template. But if you want to see everything in one template, so for that requirement traceability matrix is used. So how it look like and how we do it's very simple. It's not a very difficult thing that I will cover in the second project. Second project will be totally based on agile methodology. We will work on a sprint, and in that sprint we will track each and every activity. We will also create a requirement traceability matrix. There also we will raise defect, but everything we will do in a test management tool, not on in the Excel sheet. So from the project level, only this part is left that I will cover in the second project. Banking, this one is e-commerce, second one is banking. I will display a banking. I have a demo banking application, a small application. But again, as I said, application is not doesn't matter. Knowledge is matter.
Sunny, while filling RTM, executing test cases side by side, we fill, or once the project is completed, we need to fill that RTM. How can we fill? While executing our test cases, and we have to update that RTM side by side. Otherwise, can we can we fill that RTM in final stage only?
Once you will do the execution, once let's suppose your execution is completed, let's suppose you are working on 10 test cases, and for all the 10 test cases you have completed your execution. You have found for 5 test cases we have found defects, and for the rest 5 you haven't found anything. So basically RTM we update after the test execution. Every tester will update the RTM after the test execution. Or what you can do, let's suppose once you have created the test cases, so you will list down all the test cases in the RTM. Once you have done the execution, so you will list down the defects against that particular test case. So parallelly, you can continue this activity, or at the last also you can do this activity. RTM is required at the last once every the testing activity is completed. Then your project manager will ask you about the RTM. So parallelly also you can do, or at the last also you can do. But if you do parallelly, the task will be easier.
Okay, Sunny. Okay.
Any other question? If not, then that's all for today's class. And from next week's Saturday, again, I will take 4 to 5 classes for the second project. And in that project, RTM I will
And
cover. And the extra thing that I will cover is I will create a resume. And then I will explain you like what are the content you can mention in the resume based on these 2 projects that you have done, and how you will explain the project, how you will explain your roles and responsibility in an interview. I will take a session for that at the last. And also in that session, Keshav will also share his experience. Anything else?
In some of the e-commerce application, there is a we have to check that payment gateways.
Yeah.
So how can we check payment gateways? Do we need real money or any
No, no, no,
dummy?
no. In the payment gateway page, there will be a dummy credit card details, dummy bank details will be there. So all these details will be given by the client. This kind of data. This is nothing but a test data. Let's suppose if I sign into this application, proceed to checkout. Okay. Now there is an order summary. It will ask you to enter the shipping address, and it will also ask you to select the shipping method. So let me do this. Suppose a street address I have mentioned 12. City you can mention Kolkata. State or province you can mention it. Anything you can mention it as well. Let's give it as okay. Adding zip code is invalid. So this data will also be given by the client. Which kind of city and state you will choose? What will be the pin code you will give here? So currently it is giving you error. It's showing the chip is
That
not the
zip code
correct
is five digits only. Sunny. You entered
invalid.
6 digits.
Like that. Yes, the zip code is 5 digit. Right. But this kind of these details will be also given by the client. Like if a client wants to test a particular shipping address, so he will give you the demo test data. Phone number you can mention anything. Again, it is giving you. Actually, this zip code you have to give based on city and state. So that is why it is giving an error. Let's
I
move on.
entered 54321 as the zip code in full. Okay. Yes.
It is allowing me to move. So that's fine. It has taken Telangana. Now, if I place order, so there is no payment gateway page for this application, I guess. So what will happen that I am explaining you? Either it will ask you to choose a payment option. You have to add a bank details, or in bank details there will be a debit card or credit card option that you have to select. right? So for debit card, the number, the name, what name you will give, what uh, no, sorry, credit card. Let's suppose the example is credit card. So in the credit card, there will be the number, there will be a customer name, there will be the CVV details, there will be an expiry date also, and anything else? No. So all this data will be given by the client for the testing. So you will use that data and you will only give those details. Similarly for bank debit card also, these details will be given by the client. That will be a dummy data. In testing environment, we use dummy data that is given by the client. Okay. And this kind of data will be set up by the developer. Developer will do all the setup for this kind of data in the testing environment. So that once you will enter this data, it will successfully accept those data. It will not give any error. But in production environment, there is a I will cover this production part in the second project. Like this right now, we have just done the functional system testing, FST level. Right now you only know about one level of testing, but apart from that, there is a regression testing, there is alpha and beta testing, and after that there is a production testing. So what are those things? I will explain you once I will cover the second project. I will explain you what we generally do in regression testing, what we generally do in alpha beta testing, what happens in the production. So there I will give a brief, a detailed overview about the entire testing process of a project. In production environment, once we do this kind of testing, then there we have to give the actual account details. Like your test, let's suppose you are using an ICICI Bank application, and let's suppose any of you or the let's suppose your lead has an account in that, so he will use that account because that is a real time scenario. Production testing is a real time testing, so there you have to test the real scenarios. So in that case, we have to use the actual account details, or what client will do. Client will create an account, a credit card and debit card, and that will be given, that will have some restriction on, definitely you cannot withdraw any money from that, right? So then the client will give you that actual credit card and debit card for an account, saving account or current account, it will open for the production level testing. So there you will find real data. But in testing environment like FST level testing, regression testing, in these levels of testing, you will use the test data, the dummy data that will given by the client. Okay. Anything else? Anyone?
Sir, I want to ask one question, general. For
Hmm.
example, I was watching SDLC, what you explained. So,
Hmm.
in that, I wanted to ask, for example, whatever the requirements are there, a project has come and all the documents are ready, and the
Hmm.
development has started. Till that time, as I mean, what will I be doing? I- mm, like a tester, what I will be doing that time? Like how this process starts in the company? That I wanted to know.
So in that process, if you are working on a waterfall model, so first of all, there will not no tester will be assigned till the development part. Once the development
Till in
activity,
waterfall, I understood, but in
yeah,
agile,
agile. So in agile, what will happen? Parallelly, you will create test cases.
without developer has made anything, I will on how which what basis I will make.
SRS document.
Okay, I will understand.
Yeah, definitely. In
Okay,
agile methodology, before any development and testing, there is a planning session happen. That I will explain in the second project. Then you will understand. Product. There will be a product owner. The product owner will explain entire functionality to both developer and tester. Each and every functionality details the product owner will explain you. After the explanation, once you understood the entire requirement, then developer will start its development and you will do your test case creation.
okay. So tester is also almost same like okay, that I will ask later then. I wanted to ask related to automation.
I will explain once the agile process
Okay.
will start. Then you will, if you have any questions related to that, then you will get to know like how everything happens in
Oh,
agile. Like
yes, I want to
currently,
know how the project comes. Means the documents are ready, and then it is told that the new project you will be assigned. That time from there, I want to know the flow.
no worries. I will in agile. I will explain it end to end thing, like from start to the production level
Oh,
testing. We will
okay.
do hands-on. We will do till the FST level. But after that, what happens in regression? What happens in the next level? That I will explain.
What happens in regression?
That I will explain in the second project.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So whatever the part is left, that I will cover in the second project. There you will get end-to-end knowledge about each level of testing. What happens in each level of testing. Okay, so if there is no doubt, then we can conclude the class.